backing music was used illegally.
That ExP was remarkable, unremarkable. He made the album to lift himself up and pull him out of the quagmire. Ain't we all, man? Ain't we all, brother?
I went on a stag do to London the other year.
Very special guest, ExP from Flame Griller, the West Yorkshire rap crew. He's a top bloke. Buy everything he does.
The WYcast is made possible by people going on the XP homepage, www.exp.uk, and buying my albums on vinyl and CD and getting merch as well. So big thanks to everyone who has, and if you enjoy these podcasts, please consider helping out by going and buying some. Welcome to Series 3 of the WYcast. I had to rap one. Don't look at me like that. I'm XP, producer, and I rap. Leeds WY is where I hung up my hi-hat. And I did decide that the scene needs a push. There's so many dope artists who don't speak enough. My wife got me a Zoom H2. Cheers, love. So I roam West Yorkshire where the scenery's lush and talk to those involved in the hip-hop scene and what made them turn to rap when they were pissed off teens. Is it just to help them let off steam, or are they trying to live off it, graft endlessly and get some green? Either way, it's sick to be making music in WY and reconnect the community with good vibes. Armed with a Zoom recorder, GoPro plus mics, I set up outside and meet people like Jester Jacobs, aka Jester J, a legend who used to knock around Leeds, make a bit of music out here, and did some put some releases out and performed out here as well. Went to find his fortune as a stand-up comedian down in London, and he's doing a very good job of that as well, but always making music, working with plenty of WY heads, including Jack Dans, and yeah, just an incredible guy to know about. Follow all his music, follow all his comedy, and follow his podcast, which we talk about as well, which is super dope. All right, let's get into it. Jester J, it's so fucking good to see you. Thank you very much for joining me, man.
Yes, bro.
Brudenell Social Club. It's looks a bit of a dive, but it's one of the most important places in Leeds for music and that.
You know, I was talking to someone earlier about I read an article about Doom, because Doom was here, right?
Yeah, that's right.
He just used to knock about.
Fuck off.
I think in the article I read, he used to just knock about in there and just watch bands and chill.
It's so annoying that happened, because I only realised a year after he died when it was LGI that were like, oh fuck, we killed him.
And they killed him in a bad way. Really
bad way. And he was just chilling in Round Day the whole time, and he was just in Brudenell watching bands and shit. And he was like, how many producers in Leeds should have been shooting him beats?
I want to know where were the sightings of him. What the fuck was he doing, man? I just want to know.
How the fuck did no one recognise him? I know he wears a mask, but he'd like plenty of footage of him before that and that.
Surely he'd stick out a bit. Mostly children around here.
Yeah. He's the big American guy with no hair. Fucking hell.
Yeah. Yeah, this is vibes, man.
On to you, bro. I've been following your career since really back in the day, and I was because you kind of hollered me about this part. Well, I couldn't decide whether you were a WY artist really, because you cut your teeth in Leeds, but then I didn't want to be like all claiming you for West Yorkshire because you've been repping London so long.
Yeah, you can claim me. Fucking love Leeds.
Yes, come on now, right? Okay, you're West Yorkshire for life. Then let's have it. What was the story to you? First of all, when were you born? What were your birth year? Were you like not allowed that? Oh no, you're only the second person to ever say I'm not saying it.
I can say it.
I respect it.
I've never been asked it. That's why
I ask it, because people are like, huh? It helps me on a scale of, come on.
I'm 24.
Fucking career's killing it.
Yeah, my stage age is about 24. I'd say.
All right, fair dues. I won't ask it.
25.
25, right, fair play, yeah.
But you can add another 13 years.
First I heard of you, I feel like it was Blap, which I go on about a lot, and probably you are probably a bit bored of me on Instagram, but it is still one of my favourite West Yorkshire-based, certainly hip-hop videos ever, where you're knocking around these areas, shooting piss out of a Super Soaker.
Correct. Based on a true story.
Is that really?
Yeah.
No way.
I mean, not at the time. That was fake urine.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But yeah, I was a fucking idiot.
Had you actually done that before? You've actually knocked around and squirted people with a Super Soaker full of piss?
There was a situation at one point. A long time ago, you know.
You were 14?
Yeah.
I can't even figure out the...
I was 24. I can't condone such behaviour. But yeah, that song's cool, man. Like, it's pretty embarrassing now, but...
I think it bangs. Do you listen to that back and cringe?
I don't listen to that. I left Twitter last year.
Nice. Good man.
After a shitstorm.
It was the shitstorm, not Elon Musk. It was the
it was a bit of a long story. Someone was... So a friend of mine, a comedian, upset a group of people, and they targeted him, and then I stuck up for him, and then they targeted me, and they kind of did a deep dive on all my stuff to try and get me cancelled because they tried for him.
Right.
They succeeded for him.
Right.
And they really, I don't know if anyone's ever forensically dug in. It's never going to be pleasant, but they really tried. If there was anything they could have found, they would have done, because they were like finding old lyrics and.
But they didn't dig up the Sopa Soka or Yuri and stuff.
No, what they did, someone shared that and they said, Jester Jacobs does chap hop. You know what chap hop is?
Chap hop or chap?
Chap hop.
Chap hop. Oh, okay, like MC Hammersmith or something.
Right. And then I was like, yeah, that's quite a good insult. But then I'm like, actually, I fucking invented that.
Yeah, fully.
This was like 2008.
Do you know what I mean? I think you were breaking ground with that shit back in the day. What was your journey to hip hop then and rapping? Like, were you?
Well, I grew up like suburbs, North London.
Oh, okay, you're London originally, right?
Like, loved garage music. Grew up listening to garage.
Yep.
Went to garage raves. Tried to be a garage MC. Was terrible. Had no credibility, but we loved it, and I just kind of moved on to rap from there. But it was a slow path.
Yeah.
And I moved up here to try and just to get into the rap game.
Is that really? You moved from North London to get into the rap game in
because
Leeds?
I was studying in Nottingham and I made some connections in Leeds. And
sick.
I moved in with my friends because we were in a little rap group and we tried to...
Name the rap group.
I think unsigned artists.
Right, okay, nice. Classic.
But I moved up with them. I moved in and I remember like a few weeks after just realising, this is never going to happen. No one cares. They're not going to do anything. But I was still up in Leeds. So
Right.
my friend at the time that I'd started music with, we were like, let's just do an album. And then we did another EP.
Is that where's mental disorder and all this?
Yeah, it was all done there. Yeah. It's like, it's a really fun time. I was just off the back of uni, drinking, fucking overdoing drugs, untreated mental health. But I really wanted to, just make a project, sort of like the antithesis to what it was about.
Yes.
Kind of a bit more self-deprecating, taking things, subject matters, and switching them on their head. Like, there's a song on there about not mugging people, but getting mugged.
Yeah.
Because that was my experience growing up. We just used to spend weekends just running away. Being on buses and like having knives on us,
but it's
pulled on us.
It's the truth, but it wasn't that sexy in hip hop to be talking about like you being the one who's getting fucked over rather than you being the guy who's like, well, I'm doing the.
I just found it kind of funny, kind of entertaining. I've kind of kept that going.
Yeah.
For other songs, for better or worse. Some of the songs I listen to that I've done recently, I cringe at, but I still think they're kind of like valid.
Yeah, no, I can't think of one off the top of my head that would make you cringe. Really, it can't be anything off that Dan's album for starters.
No, Dan's one is a different thing altogether. That's a cool story how that all happened. But like, I did a song about porn addiction.
Yeah,
that's kind of cringe, but it's also honest.
Of course,
and something that I don't like. Just the fact that I did it, I think, is funny.
I think
to go there because like no one really wants to. That's the least cool thing.
It's interesting
possible.
from a listenership perspective because I'd like to say that I'm like in a similar Venn diagram to you in terms of what I write about. It's more the self-deprecating stuff. It's more like what's happened to me and that. But I ended up like having frank and honest discussions with people who had heard it, and so there's plenty of people who are feeling it, but there were people who weren't, and they're sort of were like, I listen to hip hop because I want to escape that bullshit. You know, people listen to that West Coast, like hardcore shit because fundamentally it's not their life. It's like them watching a Quentin Tarantino film. Whereas when one is like rapping about getting mugged or porn addiction or stuff, sometimes people are like, oh, don't want to know about that shit.
Pills.
Yeah.
It was all a mental disorder, the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, and I rated the fuck out of that.
Rejected by chicks as well. There's like a song about platonic.
It's very non-hip hop for the era. It's a bit cooler now, innit? But to be like,
everyone's fucking got mental health.
Everyone's got a therapist in it now. Fucking hell.
You gotta switch it up. So now I'm back to just being mentally ill again.
Nice.
I don't know whether I should smoke this. Philip Schofield's ruined this for everybody.
Is it that colour? Is it the same type? Or?
I don't know.
Be all right, mate. I'll CGI it out in post. So your experience in Leeds, so you put out that mental disorder album. What were your? Because in fact, the first I'd heard of you before even the Blap. You battled Jack Dance in Smokestack in this and so many people were there. 2008, good knowledge, and there were so many people were there that are still part of WY and so had you gigged a lot? Were you gigging a lot with your rap and stuff, or when you were putting that out? Or?
Bits and bobs, but not really. But I remember that gig.
Yeah, I bet.
It was crazy. It was really fun, man.
Yeah. Well, when I had Dan's on the podcast, he sort of alluded to the fact that that's how you guys got to know each other in the first instance, while slagging each other off in a freestyle.
Mad, right?
Yeah, fully mad, but a really hip-hop story though, at the same time.
That's the only battle I was involved in as well. I'd never battle rapped before or since.
I was going to ask you about
fucking
that.
Stressful.
Is it the stress of it? Because we'll talk about your comedy a bit later, but obviously you've got that in your head. You've got that you've got funny lines, and I think battle rap is reliant so much on good comic timing.
For sure.
Did you ever fancy a Don't Flop? Or?
I don't think I could do it. I feel like I have so much respect for people that do it, and I watch it. But the thing is, I feel like there's so much at stake, and if you fuck up, it's so prolonged and fucking
people will meme the fuck out of it. Yeah.
It's not like with comedy, you can style it out.
Can you?
Of course.
I suppose not everyone's filming it, or it's definitely not being filmed and put on YouTube.
But if you're doing a battle rap and you're on rails with verses and you fuck it up, you're done for. And then there's forgetting the bars, that's a thing. There's jokes not landing, that will throw you off. And then people not, what was it? Oh yeah, if someone there's plenty of stuff people could find out about me that would be very hurtful and painful. And if someone said something very pointed, I'd be really upset.
Would you? Yeah.
And then I'd look upset, and then I'd think about it, and then that might ruin the next verse. So basically, what I'm saying is just
you're not battle rap material.
I don't think so.
Who won out you and Dan?
I would only want to battle rap someone truly terrible, so I'd guarantee a victory.
Yeah. There are well-established battle rappers who've only rapped battle.
Who won out of me and Dan's? I think ABD won the whole thing.
Oh, did he win the whole thing? Damn. So you're in the semis this a bit, damn.
Yeah, and I never was going to win it because I was just not Northern.
No.
Obviously.
Everyone booing you off for that.
But they were fucking great, man. That's why I like Leeds hip-hop scene's just fucking great, man.
Yeah.
All the music up north, Nottingham MCs, crazy. The talent out there, wild. Everything up north's good.
There's a lot missing in terms of plugging that into the scene. It always seems like Nottingham heads will be killing it in Nottingham, Leeds heads will be killing. Everyone will have heard that this Leeds rapper, but you go fucking Brighton, they won't necessarily. There's a few obviously exceptions, but it always seems like we're quite insular, whereas down south they always seem to manage to spread out a bit more and play up north and stuff.
Just where the fucking money is. I
guess. You reckon? Speaking of which, how long did it take you to make that switch back down to down south?
Well, I left. I only lived in Leeds for a year, went back, tail between my legs, started working...
Domino's?
No, that was here.
Okay.
For a few months. Then I went home. I wanted to be a comedy writer. So I wanted to work in TV. Yeah. Because I thought that's how you would break into comedy. Turns out they don't really want any creative people in TV. Hence it dying a death and the internet taking over. But
fair.
I worked in a few TV jobs, being a runner. I was fucking awful. Oh my God. I was the worst runner ever.
I've only ever been in a situation where I've had a runner once. I did an advert a year or two ago and they had their full team and there were people I just wanted to tell them, just sit down, bro. It's fine.
Nah, they
I don't need anything, but they just make them.
I would have listened to you and then lost the job.
You'd have chilled out. But it's I don't want people waiting, but it just it's a tough job, man. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I think my main problem was I wasn't a smiley, pretty girl. Because they're the ones that they do best.
There's still time.
2024. There is still time.
So the runner stuff wasn't cutting it. Was there a point? Okay, so obviously you became a stand-up comedian, and you from the outside in, you look like a pretty fucking successful one at that. You seem to be doing really well. Your crowd seem to be lapping you up. Thanks, your reels are well watched, and the crowd is laughing, and
it happens.
Yeah, definitely. What point? Were you in Leeds when you were I'd like to? Because you've just alluded to the fact you wouldn't want to stand up in front of someone and give someone shit in front of a crowd. So why would you want to then stand up in front on your own and come up with your own and be really vulnerable? Like,
well, yeah, it's a good question. There's always something I wanted to do.
Sick.
But I didn't know how. And I didn't know how for years. And when I went back home, there was a friend of a friend who was doing comedy open mics. And I just asked him to take me, wherever the fuck it was. He took me to the last ever Lion's Den open mic.
Mad. With the intention of watching, or were you thinking you'd jump up?
I was going to do my set.
And you'd written a set?
Yeah, you could call it that. But yeah, it was at the Lion's Den, which is like still going, open mic. Rest in peace, Tim Randall. He founded that. Sick. And it was at the last one ever at the King's Cross. It was like a full house, maybe 200 people.
Sick. Wow. Best ever open mic comedy.
And I went on and there was fine, like not good.
Did you do because I've seen some of your comedy before, certainly in the Fringe, and you were incorporating a lot of your rap into that. So like you were almost doing some of your comedy rap bars and then sort of moving around. Were you doing? Was that part of your set? Then?
No, I didn't introduce music into the stand-up for maybe 5-6 years.
Mental.
Because when I started doing open mics, Doc Brown was on Apollo. So I remember watching. I was like,
yeah, people are going to be like, oh, it's Doc Brown ripoff.
Yeah, but it was kind of a blessing because it made me develop stand-up material and like really focus on that side of it. And even now, I introduce music to live stand-up, but it has to work, and I got kind of rules. It's complicated. Like, yeah, there's nothing worse than bad musical comedy.
Agreed. There's a lot of it about, innit?
Yeah. So when I do rap stuff, I always make the rap credible, and sometimes it can turn off an audience, but that's their problem. Like, they're like, I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, sorry. But I try and keep it short little segments. I occasionally will do full songs if it works.
Yeah.
And it's a really annoying way to work because there's been times I've tried to do whole tunes, like new stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't work, so I have to fuck it off.
Right.
So you write a tune to try it live in a stand-up setting, doesn't land, and you're like, waste of time.
Is your average set in 2024? Does that have any rap anymore? If you did a full set?
Yeah, it does.
Nice.
It's rap. I'm trying to think of.
Because I've seen that obviously. I think you did it. You did it at Fringe as well. You were on Harry Hill's TV show, which was mega.
Yeah, big
and
up
you
Harry.
And you did some rap then. I feel like it was the 1600s rap or the back in the day one, something like that. Just clever little ideas like that. Is that the sort of thing you're incorporating still, or is it?
I just try and I'll be on a topic and I'll figure out if there's a way to put in a rap element that feels authentic and funny.
Yep.
And that works. Like, I don't want to give away stuff, but sometimes I don't have to rap. So I've started doing this thing recently where I talk about I did a little bit of work in a prison, helping prisoners write songs recently.
Fucking hell, man.
Not much, but
cool.
So I talk about that, and then I was like, obviously I know as a white man going in certain spaces, I've got to acknowledge my privilege, and so I did write a rap song about white privilege, and then I dropped this reggae instrumental, and it builds up, and people are like, oh god. And then I just say, I'm not going to bother actually.
Nice.
Yeah. Funny thing is, that instrumental is from my next album.
Oh yeah.
And it is vocalized. So
amazing.
So I got a reggae tune. I got a reggae, but I don't do the patois, but it's a reggae instrumental.
You wouldn't be the first white guy trying to drop some patois for hits.
No, even for me, that's a step too far.
Fair play, yeah. So you've kind of managed to keep the comedy going while also keeping the hip hop going. I was a big fan of the what was the Moose Squad?
Moose Funk Squad.
Moose Funk Squad.
Yeah, we got more Moose coming.
Have you? Yeah.
Yeah, loads.
Oh, sick!
Like 3 albums.
That is you, Benny D, Luca Brasi.
Benny's unofficial, but he's in
unofficial?
There. He can be Moose.
Monsieur Freets, of course.
Monsieur Freets, Fawny P, Archetype.
Are these
Luca
all boys?
Brasi, DJ Sugai. Moose.
Were these all boys that you were down with when you were originally in North London, or did you rediscover them on your return?
No, Matt. I can't actually remember it, but it's mostly a link up here.
Oh, sick. Mad.
Yeah, we shared the same producer who did my first album. And
remind me of that guy's name.
Organised Mess.
That's him. Yeah.
Big up.
Is he still doing this thing?
Yeah. He's
I haven't
about.
seen it. Is he still
He's
called
back
Organised
here.
Mess?
He's back here now.
He's back in Leeds.
Yeah,
I
he's
haven't
always
been to
working
chat with him.
on. He was working on big TV productions, doing sound for.
Sick.
Fucking flying. I wanted to crash at his, but he's like fucking filming some Apple TV shit.
Sick. Is he still making beats? Is he still sending you beats? Or?
Yeah.
Dope.
He's making a new studio. He's very slow.
Yeah.
Fucking be quicker. They're old.
Okay, cracking. You're only 25, bro.
Yeah,
Whole life ahead of you.
I'm young, but he's old.
So moose. So you've got more moose in the works.
Loads of moose.
Do you guys just hook up in London and put stuff down, or
We're
what's the working process?
We're working out of the Labrador, which is Dyke and Pete Cannon's studio.
Nice.
So yeah, we're making stuff there.
Yep.
And there's loads. Got some album with a Aussie producer. I think we've done 2 albums worth of stuff with him.
Jesus.
And then the final Hoof Prince EP, number 4, about 2 years too late, produced by Hashfinger.
Oh shit.
That's coming. That's done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fuck. This is all very exciting. So there's absolutely tons of stuff to come out. Because I mean, one of the most significant releases you did, we sort of talked about it before, was Moose Solutions, was it?
Yeah.
I assume that was kind of a reference to Moose Funk as well. The fact there was a moose in it.
Yeah.
You're down with that. That's sick. Who did you
Came
have
out on Revorg.
Revorg Records. Word. That was a huge album, man. You must have been well proud of it. You said
Love
there was
that
an
album.
interesting story how it came about, or was it because you battled each other back in the day?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not an interesting story, but I was just in lockdown. All comedy and music was done for, no work. And I just got in touch with Jack and I just was in the zone, man. I found it a really weird time, but I had sort of anxiety lifted, as well as losing everything. There was a period of reflection because there was nothing to do.
Yeah.
So it's like a reset. I was walking around in nature a lot, like looking after myself, thinking, and I just was like, now I need to go off the rails and make this album.
Yeah.
This dystopian album. So I just kind of was drinking a lot of wine, vaping a lot of weed, listening to Dan's beats, and it just all came real nice. Like a lot of the recordings are one takes.
Really? Damn. And was that recorded at Dyke and Pete Cannon's as well? Or
No, that was recorded at the Revorg studio.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm really proud of that album.
Should be.
It's fucking, that was the sound, man. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Are you still aspiring to that sound? Is like if you were gonna, have you got solo stuff in the works? Is it gonna
There's this
similar
album
budget?
coming. My next album is with Forrest DLG from High Focus.
Oh shit, okay.
Chemo, aka Chemo.
Oh fuck, I know. Right, okay. Know him.
His new name.
He has got a new name. Is Telematches one of his
Yeah.
names as well? The guy's got many
He's
names.
got many aliases,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's with
yeah.
him. That's sounding great.
Mate.
That's close. And yeah, it's kind of, I guess it's similar sound to Moose Solutions, but you can't really replicate Moose Solutions.
Of course not. No.
It's done.
Is it coming out? Is it coming out on Revorg as well, or
I'm not sure where it's
cheeky
coming
little
out
high
yet.
focus release?
That'd be nice.
That would be nice.
I don't know if I'm high focus material.
You've
We can
worked
sa-
with a few though,
Have I?
have you? Well, you've worked with him. Worked with Chemo, who's like does all their mastering and stuff.
Yeah,
That's a good
yeah,
start.
yeah.
Because you do have, I can't even remember off the top of my head, but you do seem to have some good links with like proper UK hip hop heads, man. Like, seem to have a lot of respect in that department.
Do I?
I thought so, yeah.
I hope
I'm
so.
trying to think about features or people that you've hung around with or done gigs with.
I've
or
hung
whatever,
around with
like-
basically everyone.
Well,
but
there you
I
go.
don't know
Yeah.
if
I think that's half. If you hung around with them, then you're down with them, innit? And that's half the battle. Like, you can get them on a track and everything's chilling.
maybe. But
Do you work your way around much hip hop like gigs and events down there? Or do you stay away from
I don't even know where they are. I wish I did. I feel like it's like our scene and the stuff we like. It's very separate to kind of popular
what's
hip hop.
happening? Yeah, I get you.
Which is weird because it is pop music. It's
Yeah.
so big. It's never been bigger, but
Yeah.
that specific type that we grew up listening to and making,
Yeah.
it comes back. Everything comes back around.
Do you think there'll ever be a return for you to that kind of the original album with Organised Mess? That kind of there was some whimsy and fun to that. I think is what I'm saying. Whereas
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Moose Solutions, while there was really funny bits, it was all it's still from a dark place. Anyone ever a dance beat is going to sound fucking dark. I think. You can't get away from it.
That's why I love it.
Yeah. Is that kind of musically where you want to be? because you were doing right. I'll give you an example. You were doing shit like that dog song. And I'm like, I rate the fuck out of that. And obviously it did really well for you as well because people love dogs and it was a great song.
It's good.
Do you have like, are you intending to get more whimsy back into music?
Well, because of the way I do things on stage with stand-up, it will always be there. There'll always be opportunities to do very stupid songs.
Yeah.
Like loads. Like, yeah, like I've tried to write a song about... Like I wrote a song which never came out, which I wrote and recorded. Good example of what I'm saying about the jail stuff. I wrote a song about pretending to be really hard and like a criminal, and then it details my crimes, and then eventually I'm in the interview room, and then I confess to the police, and I'm just working for the police by the end.
Nice.
Like as a rat, and it just didn't work live, but
as a long, was it long? It sounds like
fucking
a
ages.
hip opera. You can write a whole.
Yeah, it was a really stupid waste of time song, but I just thought that would be funny on stage, right? That's the worst thing you could be. Everyone, that didn't work. I'm just basically workshopping material with you right now. There was another thing which I might do. Right, that was it. So that was the original idea, and then I thought I'm going to write a song about what I would be like in prison, based off that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pretend like I'm the top guy in prison. I'm fucking shanking everyone, extorting people.
Yeah.
I'm not getting bummed, right?
Yeah.
I'm official.
Crucially, not getting bummed. Yeah.
But then I was like, well, that wouldn't really be me in prison. But this would be. And you know how like in hip hop they always have the jail skits?
Yeah, of course.
You know, this is a collect call from.
Yeah.
So I was going to just play that and then just cry on stage. You know, I'm not supposed to be here. Kind of vibe. All of those things haven't happened, so. But to answer your question, yeah, whimsy will be around because that's an
Whimsy's
example.
back. Whimsy
I don't know if you
might
could
be
call
coming
that
back.
whimsy, talking about being in
No,
jail.
probably
and
not. Probably not. But
getting
that
bummed.
conceptual stuff's like something you're really good at, man. I feel that. What are you? Are you wanting to be? Are you wanting to see where the comedy goes and like end up like big stage touring? Are you wanting to get back into TV writing, like where you started? Now that you've got a comedy career, or what is the Jester J plan?
Man, I don't think TV would want me. What I'd love to do is just keep working, find a nice little audience, and tour to an audience. That's about the best you could hope for.
I mean, you're pretty much achieving that, right?
Yeah, it could be better.
Yeah.
I don't know how much tickets I could really sell around the nation, but one day, just got to keep building.
How's it working? Well, you're currently on tour with your boy, innit? Who's sort of going, Tom Ward, who's like doing who's doing a UK tour right now. Have you sort of the workings of that? Because he hasn't necessarily got a recognisable name up and down the country yet, and you've got to kind of push that. Is that because personally,
I was doing Jamali Maddox tour support up in Leeds, same venue the other month as well.
You were, yeah.
Yeah, it's always good to tag along with my famous, successful friends.
I remember going to Fringe a few years back and trying to get some recommendations off you. And Tom Ward was one of them. Jamali Maddox was another, and he was
such
bubbling
a good
under.
friend.
That's some good friend work, man. Because you proper did like it, you told me about him. I'd never heard of him, and then suddenly he's on TV. Suddenly he's fucking everywhere. So it must be handy to have those people that are taking you on tour, right? Though.
Well, it's definitely helpful.
How did the audiences take it of other comedians?
Well, tour support is really fun, but if you're doing it with friends, it's extra fun. But sometimes it can be a little bit tricky because they're obviously not there to see you.
Fair.
If you're known, then it's something different.
But they know that. I think that's kind of because I've seen enough comedy acts where there's a tour support, and you kind of know that's the deal. So you're like, all right, you know, well, why?
They give you a chance, but like what I was going to say was with Tom's crowd or Jamali's crowd, they're just nice people. They kind of probably get what I'm doing.
True.
It's a good booking. For me.
Yeah, fair.
Certain other acts, like I'm trying to think of someone, would be a bad booking.
Yeah, I get you.
And it would be a clash.
Yeah, fair.
And they wouldn't like me. I'm trying to think if that's happened, if I've opened for someone and. Yeah,
it's just been a nightmare.
I've had deaths.
Familiar story. And also with Tom, you've got this podcast. We sort of started talking about it before we got on the podcast. Bad Boys Done Good.
Bad Boys Done Good.
Which I am a fan of, man. I've been lurking in the background, subscribing and watching, man.
Big up.
How? Because you basically embody a character the whole time. You're Tony Soprano character. How have you found doing that?
I love that this is the first one that's asked me on camera about it because it's very hard to explain, and even discuss.
I think it's a good idea considering how many podcasts there were for you to embody a character, but you're almost having to Sacha Baron Cohen the whole fucking time as far as I can see.
Just no one knew what the fuck they were agreeing to.
No.
Before it came
so
out.
none of the comedians or the people that joined you knew that you were going to just be Tony Soprano. You just said it's going to be me.
Yeah, they just showed up.
How could they know?
How could they know? We said to them,
Didn't explain it to them.
We tried to. Most comedians don't read anything.
Right,
They
fair.
just show up.
Because they've been booked for a podcast and they're
Yeah,
turning up.
Jamali tried to get out of it.
Nice.
We called him ready, set up, recording, in character in the studio. Where are you? He goes, I'm in bed. I'll pay you back. No, get in a cab now. So he was fresh face. He didn't know what the fuck he walked
He
into.
actually seems to have a really nice time out of quite a few. Like some of them seem to be visibly jarred by the experience.
Well, there was one, I won't say who
I think I know who you're on about immediately.
said they wanted to punch me in the face after about a minute.
Right.
We had to cut that out, and then I had to sort of backtrack.
What the fuck is their reaction when they go and right, okay, cool, we're talking about this today, and you guys just straight in with characters on them? They must be like, what the fuck is hell going on?
Very confusing.
Yeah, it really is.
And then it's not even just one character; they get on both sides. Fucking.
Is there more in the works for that?
Yeah, we're working on a series 2.
Will the comedians get any prior notice that you're featuring?
Well, we're struggling to get certain bigger names because they can now see it. And they're like, well, I don't want to be a part of this. No one's coming out of this looking good. But that's not the spirit of the show. I don't think we make people look bad. We're just...
It reminded me...
We have hard-hitting conversations.
Yeah.
And it's
Sort of.
very stupid.
Completely stupid. Do you know what it reminded me of? It's a weird analogy, but Rob Brydon and Steve Coogan did that restaurant tour of Italy or whatever,
Trip.
and it was almost like, oh, we're just eating nice food, and actually no, they were building this whole subplot that had nothing to do with their real lives, and they were almost fake characters. And it seems like the same thing for you, where like it's a podcast, but it's not a podcast. It's like a dramatized madness. This is a podcast.
Tom and I realised that we needed to do a project that wasn't like stand-up comedy, so that we could have an internet presence. Everybody else does a podcast as themselves to make life easier, and we decided to make our lives more difficult
Massively
by
more.
doing a character-based podcast, edited not as ourselves.
Yeah.
But we like it a lot. We
was
found
gonna
that
say.
people are really responding well to it, and it's kind of got a little culty audience.
Yeah, well, name me the next podcast that's like that. There isn't really one, is there? Like,
That's good to hear.
Yeah, man. I think if you're breaking new ground, that's the most important thing, really. Whether or not your viewership's good, but whether or not your viewership's good, if you're doing something new, people are always going to be like, what the fuck? But
it's very much word of mouth because it's completely like the antithesis of what an algorithm is after, like topic-wise,
language-wise,
or like everything we put out gets limited to fuck.
Yeah. And you
need to do a family-friendly version.
maybe you can pull in some favours with, because the thing is, like, it's a good opportunity for someone with a fucking sense of humour. Do you know what I mean?
think so?
Regardless. You know what I mean? And you must have so many contacts who are big in the game. You know what I mean? For example, I know you probably can't pull this off, but like Harry Hill would fucking...
I did ask Harry to do it.
And what was he not feeling it? Because that's the situation for him. He'd bloody eat that
You know
alive.
what? We're trying to get away, if we can, from all comedians because
fair.
they're too guarded on it. They don't like to not be able to sort of clap back. And
Right,
they're
fair
so
enough.
bamboozled.
Yeah.
They don't really know what to do. So, and we also found that the popular episodes are kind of the ones with like cancelled people, like Dapper Laughs was
I saw that,
fan
yeah.
favourite.
'Cause they've
Leo
got thousands
Curse.
Yeah. You need to just be doing influencers. Instagram,
Well,
just
that's
purely Instagram influencers.
That's what we're working on. We're trying to just do like all areas.
Yeah. Because you went in on Dapper Laughs. Sorry, we're going on about your podcast a bit too much, but you really went in on Dapper Laughs.
He's a good lad, old Daps.
Was he totally chilled with that? Because was it all in good faith? Because I watched that and I actually felt a bit uncomfortable. I was like, fucking hell. And you were raising good points, but it was like an uncomfortable watch.
Oh, bless him. No, he's great, man.
Sick.
He was great. He was great. And like I mentioned, I'd say like about half of what we record is completely unbroadcastable.
Yeah.
Way worse.
Yeah.
So bad. So bad.
Nice.
Like we might do a Patreon and put like extended episodes behind a paywall, but like it's pretty risky stuff. I don't know if we actually should.
Yeah. So splitting your time in terms of like music to comedy,
Yeah.
like where does music fit into your life percentage wise? Like, is it have you got to concentrate on comedy simply because it pays you, or do you try and keep it 50-50? What's the?
Yeah, comedy pays way more than music right now.
Yep.
But I love making music. I love the process of, seeing something through.
Yep.
And it's always constant. I'm like doing bits of ad work now and again, like ghostwriting for ads and stuff.
Sick.
Now and again. So it's kind of good to keep the muscle ticking. I'm always writing stuff. They're always together, but if I'm making an album, comedy can't really be the priority, so I do have to focus on them in stages sometimes.
One or the other, I get you. What's the? Would there be a dream with music? Really? Would you like? Or are you just happy like being able to put it out? Or
fuck yeah, man! I want to sell a run of records every drop.
How are you getting with that? How are you doing with that? Because it can be a bit of a blag. Are you doing all right with it, managing to shift them?
I mean, to be honest with you, to be completely blunt, I'm not business minded, and the thing I'm always grateful for in my life is that I was able to do stand-up comedy, progress at stand-up, and be able to do music on stand-up stages to audiences, because if I had to just focus on music and I didn't have that other outlet, I think I'd be a very seriously depressed broken man.
Yeah.
So with music, I still see it as like a bit of a hobby. I fuck up things like the Moose Solutions project. Like it did really well, sold really well.
Yeah.
But my budget, I spunked basically loads of money on the artwork.
Right.
Like too much money.
It's very beautifully done.
Exactly, but like,
good on you for investing in arts as well. Like with them.
I think so.
Yeah.
Helping women designers. I'm an ally.
Nice.
But my point is, just
you didn't cash in from it.
No, because like if I'd have just done, because Future, the rapper, he's always using like what's the word, like free art pictures. What's that called?
Yeah,
he's always
stock
using
images.
Stock images. All his covers are just stock images.
Fair enough.
And he's
I
rich.
think people would listen to it whatever the fuck, like
exactly.
They don't really care. Although it was like.
But with Moose Solutions, I was like, I really love this album. I want to go all in, make it like it's going to be there forever. Let's just make the artwork cool, crazy. So I did, but it did cost money.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's just a passion project kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, all this shit is a passion project. It's like if you go into it trying to fucking make loads of bank out the gate,
it's not going to happen, is it, man?
Nah, but I do think quality over time, people recognise it, and people that like it support it.
Yeah. You must have some good fans who regularly support your music and stuff as soon as you put it out, or what have you?
There's a few knocking about.
Yeah. And you've always got Ramesh sharing it.
Not always. He could be doing more.
He could be doing more.
You always have Frankie Boyle sharing your shit.
I occasionally have Frankie Boyle sharing my shit. It's probably a similar relationship where you just like trying not to piss him off, but like
no, I try and piss everybody off.
Do you? Yeah.
I've only learned recently to not like ask things of people. You're supposed to just. That's not
but
what
you just know how
networking
fucking
is.
busy they are, and they'll probably just mute you down the line.
So you just ask them quickly a few times.
Yeah, I have tended to hover around Instagram when Ramesh is online, just like, oh, there he is, and I'll just send him a message. If he doesn't spot it, I'll delete it and then send it and put it back. That's my tactic.
Fuck.
And it's worked so far. But yeah, do you know what? It's been frustrating having those links, and you'll have a few, right? You won't just be Ramesh who you can hit up.
I got more. I got
loads
fucking
Harry Hill.
I got loads of people, but the thing is, something I realised over years is all the people you know that are big and successful, they can't really make anything happen for you. It just happens organically. Even a share or someone putting in a good word, plugging you, it can help short term, but it's all...
Short term it can help, definitely.
It's all like your own path, and it's slow steps.
Yeah. Massively.
One day, if I build up things enough, I could drop it. It will sell nicely. Tour it, that'd be great.
It's gonna happen, I reckon, man.
I hope so.
You put in the graft in, man. Have you specifically avoided? I'm back on the comedy, but it's just interesting to talk to you about it. I'm gonna say a swear word maybe as well. Panel shows and shit like that. Is that like a swear word for comedians, or like is it a bit tight circuit to get into and you've got to suck the right dick, or what's the
suck the right dick? Yeah, you do have to suck the dick. No, you don't. It's just about management and whether you're having the right conversations with the right people. I had a good comedy agent, but he left the business. So I'm sort of a bit solo, but I don't think I'd do well on a panel show.
You reckon?
I don't think so. I'd probably do all right.
I've dreams of you popping up on Taskmaster one day and being like, yes, there he is.
I'd fucking do it. I think I'd do it all right, but like it's not something that I'm like aspiring.
No, fair enough.
When you become a comedian, again, which is very opposite to hip hop.
Yep.
When you're in the world of comedy and like light showbiz and all these, like really, eventually you just take any old shit. I'd go on anything really.
Yeah.
And I think it would be quite funny.
Yeah.
Like I'd probably sell anything, go on anything, suck anything. You're not going to get many rappers saying.
I might just cut that bit out as the promo for this.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Okay.
No, you can. That's fine. But you know what I'm saying, right? Like, there's like all the big comedians now. They're all doing gambling ads and shit, and that's fine.
Of course. I mean, you're gonna do it.
But the
I did a car insurance advert. I'm not even a comedian.
But that's okay. Car insurance, right? But like gambling is kind of like because.
I see what you're saying.
But comedians are allowed to do those kind of things because they. Everybody accepts that they have no morals.
Yeah, is that the rule?
Like even actors, kind of like, oh, he did that as a show. A comedian, it's like, well, you just.
Yeah. HSBC advert. There you go, mate.
It's fine. Hey, I've done some fucking ads. I'll do any old shit.
Fair play. Good man.
What are the shows? I don't even watch TV really. I was in the hotel last night. I was watching Come Dine With Me. I like that. No,
That's
not Come Dine With Me. First Dates.
Oh, first dates. You can't be. None of these are useful for your career necessarily.
I know someone who went on First Dates. Comedian Tom Horton. He went on that.
No
I
way.
would never go on First Dates. That's far too vulnerable.
Yeah, that is a bit much. Yeah. But I don't know whether that's going to further your comedy career, unlike maybe a comedy show. Because like you hear about. So, for example, Taskmaster always seem to pull in like one or two unknowns, and then they have a really good touring year the next year. Like, I've never heard of Emma Siddy before, and then she's on this one and all the rest of it. And it seems like when you're a comedian, you're in that circuit, so you can be so close to like touching distance of suddenly being able to like sell out a UK tour. Do you know what I mean?
I love that you think that I could just sort of have a pop at Taskmaster.
Why the fuck not? Just got to be known.
I agree. I should be on it.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Ramesh could sort that out.
Right.
So get in his DMs already.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll do your approach. I'll send them. Delete them.
Well, till he's online.
Yeah, man. What else? What else would I be on? There's people, comedians sell gambling. I got asked to do a rap for a gambling ad.
Fuck off.
And I thought it was a really big moment.
Yeah.
I've arrived. I'm shilling for gambling companies.
Finally. I like that. Yeah. Didn't work or didn't.
Just wanted a demo.
Fair enough. I wrote something for Channel 4 TV show, and it just wanted a demo, and it's like, oh.
Still get the fee?
Still, well, yeah, the initial fee, yeah. It wasn't great. But fucking hell, yeah. What opportunities are there out there, fundamentally? But it just feels like, bro, honestly, I feel like someone's going to give for you in the next 5 years, and I think everyone will be like, if you carry on in the trajectory you're on, it feels like in 5 years' time, someone's going to catch fire for you.
I hope so. You know, I've been listening to loads of Sleaford mods.
Oh, yeah?
Recently. I love Sleaford mods. You like them?
I'm not really bothered about that kind of music.
Well, what would you describe it as, kind of music? You got an issue with it?
It's not that, no, I haven't got an issue with it. I respect it as music, but it's just... It just doesn't really do it for me. I don't know. Anything
Someone was
guitar-y
yesterday, he said it's like being shouted at in an argument and you can't respond. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of why I like it.
Okay, fair enough, yeah.
But I've seen them live a few times and it's... I don't know really how to describe it. It's like both good and bad. But the reason I bring them up is they were people who've been around for fucking yonks. Like his old stuff is more hip-hoppy and like...
Oh, okay.
He's just been on it for years and years and years and years, and then they eventually broke through, and at their shows they just have this dedicated fan base of these sort of crusty older dudes.
Yep.
Vinyl heads.
Following up and down the country and watch them. Yeah.
That's what I'd like one day. That would be cool.
I reckon that's your future,
it's not
bro.
too much to ask.
No, I don't think so. And you're putting the graft in.
Yeah.
And you're sick of what you do. Fundamentally, you're a sick fucking rapper and a sick comedian, so what the fuck's not to like, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I guess the question is, what the final form of it looks like, because I do festival bookings, just music. I do comedy festival bookings. Sometimes I mix the two.
Yep.
I'm like, what would a final stage show look like? How would it work?
Bit of
I have a
both.
few ideas, but
I'm interested. Are we allowed to talk about what your few ideas?
well, like, there was one thing I was sort of working on for a time, which would be effectively like, it all happened when I did some support for Lunacy.
Yeah.
A few years ago, and I basically was doing stand-up between the music, as opposed to on stage when I do stand-up with music in between. If
So you're
that makes sense.
like MC comparing
Kind
almost
of.
between the tracks.
So doing full tunes and then doing stand-up crowd work, basically.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And it was a really weird but like fun experience. And I thought if I did a full live show, I just love the idea of like a hip-hop show that's going wrong interspersed in that way. So I could picture my DJ, we're playing tunes and then doing material between in that way.
Do you know what this reminds me of? Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah.
He always used to do that kind of thing. He'd have what's his name, spinning some tracks. He'd have the odd artist on a full lineup, and then you'd have comedians in between and stuff like that. So
would they have the rapper be in the stand-up?
no. So yeah,
That's me.
breaking new ground. That's what it's going to be. Exciting times. All right, bro. Well, I think that'll do us, man. It's been absolutely sick to talk to you. Thanks so much for coming through, my man.
My pleasure. Good to see you.
Big up.
Was that good?
Yes, mate. It was fucking dope. Big the fuck up to Jester Jacobs, one of the hardest working comedians on the circuit. Never mind, one of the hardest working musicians, rap artists, hip-hoppy heads, and all the rest of it. Amazing to chat to him. Amazing to do it at the Brudenell. You got to go support everything he's doing. Until next time, big up.